Welcome everyone. I'm Professor Piivand Pirouzi, and in this lecture we'll explore CTD Module 1 for FDA IND applications with specific document examples showing exactly what each required document must contain. Module 1 is region-specific, containing all U.S. FDA administrative requirements. Unlike the harmonized Modules 2 to 5, Module 1 content varies by regulatory authority. For FDA INDs, this module establishes the legal and administrative framework for your clinical investigation. Throughout this lecture, I'll show you actual examples of what each document should include, the specific language FDA expects, and common mistakes to avoid. By the end, you'll have a clear template for preparing your own Module 1 documents. FDA Form 1571 is the official IND application form and the first document reviewers see. Let me walk through exactly what this form requires. Example, key fields on Form 1571. Item 1, Name of Sponsor, Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. Item 2, Date of Submission, January 15, 2026. Item 3, Address, 123, Research Boulevard, Suite 400, Cambridge, Massachusetts, 02142. Item 6, IND Number, Leave blank for initial submission, FDA assigns this. Item 7, Name of Drug, NPT 2847, use your internal code for new drugs. Item 8, Submission Type, check Initial IND, for new applications. Item 10, Phase of Clinical Investigation, check Phase 1. Item 11, Serial Number, 0000, for initial submission. The commitment section is critical. You must check boxes affirming. I agree not to begin clinical investigations until 30 days after FDA receipt. I agree that an IRB will review and approve each study. I agree to conduct studies in accordance with all applicable regulations. The signature block requires, typed name, title, e.g., Vice President, Regulatory Affairs, signature, telephone number, and date. Only authorized representatives may sign. Let me provide a detailed example of how to complete the sponsor information section of Form 1571. Complete example. Box 1, Name of Sponsor. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. Use full legal corporate name exactly as registered. Box 2, Date of Submission. January 15, 2026. Box 3, Address. 123, Research Boulevard, Suite 400, Cambridge, Massachusetts, 02142. United States. Box 4, Contact Person. Dr. Sarah Chen. Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Box 5, Telephone and Email. Telephone, 617-555-0123. Facsimile, 617-555-0124. Email, sarah.chen@novapharm.com. For foreign sponsors, you must also complete. Box 4A, U.S. Agent. Regulatory Solutions LLC. Attention, Michael Thompson. 500 K Street NW, Suite 300. Washington, D.C. 20001. Phone, 202-555-9876. Email, thompson@regsolutions.com. The U.S. agent is legally authorized to receive communications from FDA and must be available during business hours. Form 1571 includes a contents section where you indicate what's included in your submission. Here's how to complete it properly. Example, Contents of Application section. For an initial Phase 1 IND, you would check. Ballot box with check 1. Form FDA 1571. Ballot box with check 2. Table of contents. Ballot box with check 3. Introductory statement and general investigational plan. Ballot box with check 4. Investigator's brochure. Ballot box with check 5. Protocols. A. Ballot box with check study protocols. B. Ballot box with check investigator data, Form 1572. C. Ballot box with check facilities data. D. Ballot box with check institutional review board data. Ballot box with check 6. Chemistry, manufacturing, and control data. Ballot box with check 7. Pharmacology and toxicology data. Ballot box with check 8. Previous human experience. 9. Additional information, check only if applicable. Important: if a section is not included, leave it unchecked but provide explanation in cover letter. Never check a box for content not actually in your submission. Under Other, you might note: Environmental assessment claim for categorical exclusion per 21 CFR 25.31, E. Pediatric study plan deferral request. Form 1572 is the statement of investigator, required for each investigator participating in your IND studies. This form creates legal obligations for investigators. Example: completed Form 1572. Section 1, Name and Address of Investigator. James R. Morrison, M.D., Ph.D. Massachusetts General Hospital. 55, Fruit Street, Jackson 1410. Boston, Massachusetts, 02114. Phone, 617-726-5555. Email, jmorrison@mgh.harvard.edu. Section 2, Education, Training, and Experience. See attached Curriculum Vitae. Always attach a current CV showing relevant experience. Section 3, Name and Address of Research Facility. Massachusetts General Hospital. Clinical Research Center. 55, Fruit Street, Bulfinch 347. Boston, Massachusetts, 02114 inch. Section 4, Name of Sub-Investigators. Patricia Wong, M.D., Co-Investigator. Robert Kim, Pharm.D. Clinical Pharmacologist. Jennifer Adams, RN, BSN, Study Coordinator. Section 5, Name and Address of IRB. Partners Human Research Committee. 116, Huntington Avenue, Suite 1002. Boston, Massachusetts, 02116. IRB Registration, ORG 0000626 inch. The commitment section includes critical statements the investigator agrees to by signing. The commitment section of Form 1572 is legally binding. Let me explain what each commitment means. Example: commitments made by signing Form 1572. By signing, the investigator commits to: 1. I agree to conduct the study in accordance with the relevant, current protocol and will only make changes in a protocol after notifying the sponsor except when necessary to protect the safety, rights, or welfare of subjects. 2. I agree to personally conduct or supervise the described investigation. 3. I agree to inform any patients, or any persons used as controls, that the drugs are being used for investigational purposes, and I will ensure that the requirements relating to obtaining informed consent in 21 CFR Part 50 and Institutional Review Board review and approval in 21 CFR Part 56 are met. 4. I agree to report to the sponsor adverse experiences that occur in the course of the investigation in accordance with 21 CFR 312.64. 5. I have read and understand the information in the investigator's brochure, including the potential risks and side effects of the drug. 6. I agree to ensure that all associates, colleagues, and employees assisting in the conduct of the study are informed about their obligations in meeting these commitments. Signature block. James R. Morrison, M.D., Ph.D. Date, January 10, 2026 inch. Note, form must be dated and signed before the investigator begins any study activities. The cover letter introduces your IND submission to FDA. Here's a complete example. Example cover letter. Company letterhead. January 15, 2026. Food and Drug Administration. Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. Central Document Room. 5901 B. Amandale Road. Beltsville, Maryland, 20705-1266. Re. Initial Investigational New Drug Application. Drug Name, NPT 2847. Indication, Treatment of Moderate to Severe Plaque Psoriasis. Dear Sir or Madam, Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated hereby submits this initial investigational new drug, IND, application for NPT 2847, a novel interleukin-17A inhibitor, for the treatment of moderate to severe plaque psoriasis in adult patients. This submission includes FDA Forms 1571, 1572, and 3674. Investigator's Brochure, version 1.0, dated January 5, 2026. Phase 1 Clinical Protocol, NPT 2847-001. Chemistry, Manufacturing, and Controls Information. Non-clinical Pharmacology and Toxicology Reports. We request assignment of an IND number and standard 30-day review. The proposed first-in-human study is a Phase 1, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, single ascending dose study in healthy volunteers. For questions regarding this submission, please contact Dr. Sarah Chen, Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Phone, 617-555-0123. Email, sarah.chen@novapharm.com. Respectfully submitted. Signature. Sarah Chen, Ph.D. Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. Section 1.3.1 provides detailed contact information. Here's a complete example. Example, Contact Information Document. Regulatory Contact, Primary. Name, Dr. Sarah Chen. Title, Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Organization, Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. Address, 123, Research Boulevard, Suite 400. Cambridge, Massachusetts, 02142. Phone, 617-555-0123. Fax, 617-555-0124. Email, sarah.chen@novapharm.com. Alternate regulatory contact. Name, David Park. Title, Senior Director, Regulatory Operations. Phone, 617-555-0125. Email, david.park@novapharm.com. Medical/scientific contact. Name, Dr. William Roberts. Title, Chief Medical Officer. Phone, 617-555-0125. 555-0130. Email, william.roberts@novapharm.com. 24-hour emergency contact. Primary, Dr. William Roberts. Phone, 617-555-0199, 24-hour. Alternate, Medical Information Hotline. Phone, 1-800-555-DRUG, 24-hour. U.S. Agent, for foreign sponsors. Name, Michael Thompson. Organization, Regulatory Solutions LLC. Address, 500 K Street NW, Suite 300. Washington, D.C. 20001. Phone, 202-555-9876. Email, thompson@regsolutions.com. Manufacturer contact. Name, Jennifer Walsh. Title, Director, CMC Regulatory. Phone, 617-555-0140. Email, jennifer.walsh@novapharm.com. Financial disclosure under 21 CFR Part 54 is mandatory. Let me explain with examples. Example, Form FDA 3454, Certification. This form certifies that investigators have no disclosable financial interests. Section 1, Application Information. IND number, to be assigned. Drug name, NPT 2847. Sponsor, Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. Section 2, Certification. I certify that I have obtained from each clinical investigator in the attached list, Attachment A, financial disclosure information as required by 21 CFR 54.4, A3, and that ballot box with check no clinical investigator had any financial arrangement with the sponsor whereby the value of compensation could be influenced by the outcome of the study, 21 CFR 54.4, A3, I. Ballot box with check no clinical investigator had proprietary interest in the tested product, 21 CFR 54.4, A3, 2. Ballot box with check no clinical investigator had significant equity interest in the sponsor, 21 CFR 54.4, A3, 3. Ballot box with check no clinical investigator received significant payments of other sorts, 21 CFR 54.4, A3, 4. Attachment A, List of investigators. 1. James R. Morrison, M.D., Ph.D., Massachusetts General Hospital. 2. Linda Patel, M.D., Cleveland Clinic. 3. Michael Thompson, M.D., UCLA Medical Center. Signature, Sarah Chin, Ph.D. Title, Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Date, January 15, 2026. If an investigator has disclosable interests, you must submit Form 3455 with specific details about the financial interest and steps to minimize bias. The Compliance History Statement discloses any FDA enforcement actions. Here are two examples. Example 1, No compliance issues, typical. Compliance History Statement. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated hereby certifies that 1. Neither the sponsor nor any of its employees have been debarred under the Generic Drug Enforcement Act of 1992, 21 U.S.C. 335A. 2. No clinical investigators participating in this IND have been disqualified under 21 CFR 312.70 or restricted under 21 CFR 312.70, b. 3. The sponsor has not been the subject of FDA application integrity policy invocation proceedings. 4. The sponsor is not currently operating under a consent decree, warning letter remediation plan, or corporate integrity agreement with FDA. 5. The sponsor has no relevant compliance history issues that could affect this application. Certified by Sarah Chen, Ph.D. Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Date, January 15, 2026 Inch. Example 2, with disclosure. Compliance History Statement. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated discloses the following. 1. On March 15, 2024, the company received warning letter WL 2024-0312 regarding manufacturing deficiencies at our Cambridge facility. All deficiencies were corrected, and FDA issued a closeout letter on September 10, 2024, attached as Appendix A. The facility has since received a satisfactory inspection, November 2024, and the deficiencies are not relevant to the current IND submission. All other certifications in the standard compliance statement apply. FDA expects transparency. Undisclosed issues discovered later create serious credibility problems. If you're referencing drug master files, specific documentation is required. Here's an example. Example, DMF reference and authorization. Letter of authorization, from DMF holder to sponsor. DMF holder letterhead. January 10, 2026. Food and Drug Administration. Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. Letter of authorization to reference DMF 12345. Dear Sir or Madam. ChemSource International Incorporated, holder of Drug Master File number 12345, hereby authorizes Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated to incorporate by reference the information contained in our DMF in support of their investigational new drug application for NPT 2847. This authorization is limited to drug substance, NPT 2847 active pharmaceutical ingredient. Manufacturing site, ChemSource Manufacturing Facility, 100, Chemical Way, Newark, New Jersey, 07102. This letter of authorization remains in effect until withdrawn in writing. Sincerely. Signature. Robert Martinez. Director, Regulatory Affairs. ChemSource International Incorporated. In your IND Module 1.4, include reference to Drug Master File. DMF number, 12345. DMF holder, ChemSource International Incorporated. DMF type, Type 2, drug substance. Subject, NPT 2847 active pharmaceutical ingredient. A letter of authorization from ChemSource International dated January 10, 2026, is attached, authorizing reference to the closed portion of DMF 12345 for manufacturing information. The open portion of DMF 12345 contains the following information referenced in this IND. Section 3.2.s.2.2, Manufacturing Process Description. Section 3.2.s.4.1, Drug Substance Specifications. Environmental assessment requirements can typically be satisfied by claiming categorical exclusion. Here's how. Example, categorical exclusion claim. Environmental assessment. Claim of categorical exclusion. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated claims categorical exclusion from the requirement for an environmental assessment under 21 CFR 25.31(e) for this investigational new drug application for NPT 2847. Basis for categorical exclusion. Under 21 CFR 25.31(e), the following actions are categorically excluded from environmental assessment requirements. Action to allow the marketing of a drug product that does not increase the use of the active moiety. This IND qualifies for categorical exclusion because 1. NPT 2847 is a new chemical entity with no currently marketed forms. 2. The proposed Phase 1 clinical trial involves maximum of 80 subjects. Single doses ranging from 1 mg to 200 mg. Total drug quantity for entire trial, approximately 5 grams. 3. The minimal quantities involved in clinical investigation do not significantly affect the environment. Certification of no extraordinary circumstances. We certify that no extraordinary circumstances exist that would require an environmental assessment, including no significant environmental effects are expected. No highly controversial environmental effects. No effects on endangered species or critical habitats. No violation of environmental laws or regulations. Certified by Sarah Chen, Ph.D. Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. Date, January 15, 2026 Inch. If your drug is manufactured using environmentally hazardous processes or disposed of in ways affecting the environment, a full environmental assessment may be required. The Pediatric Research Equity Act requires pediatric study planning. Here's an example deferral request. Example, Pediatric Study Plan with Deferral. Initial Pediatric Study Plan, IPSP. NPT 2847 for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. 1. Introduction. NPT 2847 is a novel IL-17A inhibitor being developed for treatment of moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. The indication occurs in pediatric patients, making pediatric studies relevant under PRA. 2. Proposed pediatric indication. Same as adult indication, treatment of moderate to severe plaque psoriasis in patients who are candidates for systemic therapy or phototherapy. 3. Proposed pediatric age groups. Adolescents, 12 to less than 18 years. Children, 6 to less than 12 years. Young children, 2 to less than 6 years. Toddlers and infants, less than 2 years. Waiver requested, condition rare in this age group. 4. Proposed pediatric studies. Study NPT 2847, PED 001. Design, open label, pharmacokinetic and safety study. Population, patients 6 to 17 years with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Endpoints, PK parameters, safety, preliminary efficacy, PASI. 5. Deferral request. We request deferral of pediatric studies until completion of adult Phase 3 studies, anticipated in Q4 2029. Justification. Psoriasis pathophysiology is similar in adults and children. Adult efficacy/safety data needed to optimize pediatric dosing. PK modeling from adult data will inform pediatric dose selection. Ethical requirement to minimize pediatric exposure. 6. Proposed timeline. Adult Phase 2 completion, Q4 2027. Adult Phase 3 completion, Q4 2029. Pediatric PK/safety study, 2030. Pediatric NDA supplement, 2031. We request FDA agreement with this IPSP and the proposed deferral. Submit IPSP no later than 60 days after end of Phase 2 meeting or before submitting NDA. Annual reports are required for active INDs. Here's an example outline. Example, IND Annual Report. IND Annual Report. IND number, 123456. Drug name, NPT 2847. Reporting period, January 15, 2026 to January 14, 2027. Date of submission, February 15, 2027. 1. Individual study progress. Study NPT 2847-001, Phase 1 SAD. Status, completed December 15, 2026. Subjects enrolled, 48, planned, 48. Summary, all cohorts completed, MTD not reached at 200 mg. Key findings, favorable PK profile, dose-proportional exposure. Study NPT 2847-002, Phase 1 MAD. Status, ongoing, Cohort 4 of 5. Subjects enrolled, 32, planned, 40. Estimated completion, April 2027. 2. Summary of safety information. Total subjects exposed, 80. Serious adverse events, 2, 1 appendicitis, 1 MVA, both unrelated. Treatment-related SAEs, 0. Deaths, 0. Most common AEs, headache, 15%, injection site reaction, 12%, nasopharyngitis, 8%. New safety signals, none identified. 3. IB/protocol modifications. IB version 2.0 issued August 2026, added Phase 1 SAD data. Protocol Amendment 1 to Study 002, increased MAD duration from 4 to 6 weeks. 4. Chemistry/manufacturing changes. No changes to drug substance manufacturing. Drug product, added 150 mg strength for MAD study. 5. Non-clinical studies. 6-month rat toxicity study completed, no new findings. 9-month dog toxicity study ongoing. 6. Log of outstanding business. No pending FDA requests. Pre-Phase 2 meeting requested for March 2027 inch. IND safety reports have specific content requirements. Here's an example. Example, 15-day IND safety report. IND safety report. Expedited report of suspected adverse reaction. 1. Identification. IND number, 123456. Drug name, NPT 2847. Report date, March 15, 2027. Report type, 15-day alert report, initial. Sponsor, Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated. 2. Patient information. Patient ID, NPT 001-024. Age, 45 years. Sex, male. Weight, 82 kilograms. Study, NPT 2847-001. Site, Massachusetts General Hospital. 3. Adverse event. Preferred term, severe injection site reaction. MedDRA code, 100222095. Onset date, March 10, 2027. Outcome, resolved. Seriousness criteria, ballot box with check required hospitalization. 4. Suspect drug. Drug, NPT 2847. Dose, 100 mg subcutaneous. Date of first dose, March 10, 2027. Date of last dose, March 10, 2027, single-dose study. Action taken, not applicable, single dose. 5. Narrative. A 45-year-old male participant developed severe erythema, induration, and pain at injection site approximately 4 hours after receiving 100 mg NPT 2847 SC. The reaction measured 8 cm in diameter with significant swelling. Patient was hospitalized for observation and 4 corticosteroids. Symptoms resolved within 48 hours. The event was assessed as related to study drug by the investigator. 6. Analysis. This severe injection site reaction was unexpected based on the investigator's brochure and represents a potential new safety signal requiring enhanced monitoring. 7. Actions taken. IB update plan to include severe injection site reactions. Enhanced injection site monitoring added to protocol. All sites notified via safety letter dated March 14, 2027. Submitted by Dr. William Roberts, Chief Medical Officer. Date, March 15, 2027 inch. Pre-IND meetings help align development plans with FDA expectations. Here's a meeting request example. Example, Pre-IND meeting request. Company letterhead. Date, October 15, 2025. Division of Dermatology and Dental Products. Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. Food and Drug Administration. Pre-IND meeting request. Drug name, NPT 2847. Proposed indication, moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Dear Division Director. Novapharm Therapeutics Incorporated requests a Type B pre-IND meeting to discuss our development program for NPT 2847, a novel IL-17A inhibitor. Meeting objectives. 1. Obtain FDA feedback on proposed Phase 1 study design. 2. Confirm adequacy of non-clinical program to support first-in-human studies. 3. Discuss CMC development strategy. 4. Align on development pathway for psoriasis indication. Proposed agenda. 1. Sponsor overview presentation, 15 minutes. 2. Discussion of non-clinical program, 20 minutes. 3. Discussion of Phase 1 protocol, 20 minutes. 4. CMC discussion, 10 minutes. 5. Summary and action items, 10 minutes. Proposed dates, first 2 weeks of December 2025. Meeting format, face-to-face at FDA, teleconference acceptable. Attendees, see attached list. A complete briefing document with specific questions is attached. We will submit the full meeting package within 30 days if this request is granted. Contact, Dr. Sarah Chen, 617-555-0123. Respectfully. Signature. Sarah Chen, Ph.D. Vice President, Regulatory Affairs. Attachment, Preliminary Questions for FDA. 1. Does FDA agree that the proposed 28-day GLP toxicology studies in rat and dog adequately support initiation of single-dose Phase 1 studies? 2. Is the proposed starting dose of 1 mg, 1/100 th of the Noel-based HED, acceptable? 3. Does FDA have concerns with the proposed Phase 1 study design? Let's summarize the key documents in Module 1 and their requirements. Key document checklist for IND Module 1. Ballot box with check Form 1571, fully completed and signed by authorized representative. Ballot box with check Form 1572, one for each clinical investigator, signed before study start. Ballot box with check Form 3454/3455, financial disclosure for all investigators. Ballot box with check cover letter, clear, professional, summarizing submission contents. Ballot box with check table of contents, complete listing of all submission documents. Ballot box with check contact information, regulatory, medical, and 24-hour emergency contacts. Ballot box with check environmental assessment or categorical exclusion claim. Ballot box with check initial pediatric study plan or deferral/waiver request. Ballot box with check DMF letters of authorization, if applicable. Ballot box with check compliance history statement. Common mistakes to avoid. 1. Unsigned or partially completed forms. 2. Missing investigator CVs with Form 1572. 3. Outdated contact information. 4. Missing financial disclosures. 5. No categorical exclusion justification. 6. Incomplete DMF authorization letters. 7. Missing IRB information on Form 1572. Remember, Module 1 sets the administrative and legal foundation for your entire IND. Errors here delay your entire submission review. In our next lecture, we'll cover Module 2 with specific examples of how to write effective summaries. Thank you for your attention.